Yeah, I think we had arguably one of the toughest 8-day stretches in Creighton volleyball history. And I thought our team showed incredible resilience. And, I think the thing that perhaps I'm most proud about is we felt like we didn't go after the 5th game against Nebraska the way that we needed to. And we talked about that going into the 5th game against Florida State and the 5th game against UNO of you've got to go be the aggressor and try to win the matches as compared to hoping good things happen. And I thought, particularly against Florida State, we really did that. And even UNO, I thought we took good swings to have a shot to pull that win off. And I thought we battled through a lot. So got some rest, took Sunday off, took Monday off. We'll get back at it this afternoon. But really excited about another tough weekend in front of us with Kansas State and Rice.
What do you think it was about that 5th game with Nebraska where, you guys were so close but just couldn't quite close it?
Well, I think they just came out aggressive. I in the locker room I talked about Krause. I think she played just an okay match up to the first 4 sets, and then the 5th set I think she was really angry and she went and attacked. And I think, we learned from that. You can't get passive in those moments. You've got to go be the aggressor. So, if anything good comes out of that loss is we learn that. And hopefully next time, and again, it was 2 days later, we faced that again. And I thought we stepped up to that challenge.
Since you mentioned that, I'm just kind of curious. Do you see Nora's kind of killer instinct coming out in certain moments more often than maybe she had as a freshman where, if she got into a rut, it would probably last longer. Whereas this weekend it seemed like, and even to the Nebraska match, she yanked herself out of it pretty quickly.
Yeah, I think Nora has really stepped up in some big moments the last few matches. So I think, one of the things that we've talked to Nora a lot about is being, more aggressive. And I think out of system to be more aggressive. And she's continuing to do that. And I think she trusts that her teammates, I always think culture leads to people being willing to take risks. And so how it manifests itself is that Nora knows that, she can go for it out of system, and if she makes an error, her teammate and her coaches are going to love her through it, which I think is really a big thing for athletes that are on a team, especially women, is that they want to know that it's not personal, that, people are going to have your back and be proud of you for going for it, and I just see that more and more from Nora.
I think last time we talked, and it's been a common thing, talked about Kendra's connections with hitters, and it feels like throughout the past week, even in that game where Nora attempted
93 balls?
Yeah, but in a week like that, I think Kiana had a game where she tied her game high kills, and others are getting involved. I guess how are you seeing Kendra's connection improve, and not just Nora but everybody?
Yeah, I think one of what we consider a strength is our offensive parity. So that connection with everyone is really important. And we challenge our setters to set one outside one way and another outside a different way and a middle this way. And so, we've really challenged Kendra to be able to put up different balls for different players. And I think, every match she continues to get better doing that. And we'll get back in the gym today. We have some other, on the flip side is we saw some areas that I think we can have better connection, and we're going to go work on that this afternoon. So I think it's a continual work in progress, but I can tell you from a year ago right now, it is so much better than it was, and I think we can still take some big steps forward.
Coach Gannon, before you came in, gave a very just kind of inspirational thought of just where you were at when you started with this program to where it's at now, just with the match against Nebraska and so many people coming out for it and being such a good match. Have you had time to kind of just put it all into perspective of how incredible the journey has been?
I try not to reflect too much. I feel like that's retirement when I get to do that. But I will say this. Wednesday was an incredible showcase of great volleyball in Nebraska, in our country, our fans. The fans, you saw the tweet from Rob Anderson that we had more eyes on the volleyball than MLB did afterwards. So I'm really honored to be a part of the growth of volleyball that I've seen over the last 20 years. And I wanted our players and our staff to take a moment and look up into the stands and say, holy cow, we get to be a part of something pretty special. And I'm sure glad that we battled the way that we battled, because, that makes it even more special. And, of course, we wish we would have gotten the win. I described it as a bittersweet night. There were so many wonderful things of being a part of such an incredible match, but we wanted to win, and we're disappointed in that. But this is a journey, and like I already discussed, we learned from it, and if we can continue to learn from each match that we win and lose, we could do something special down the road.
Just real quick on that note, because I'm kind of curious. There was you got some backlash when you talked about what that match means, because obviously it looks like you're trying to find some kind of moral victory, or in a loss.
I didn't know I got backlash. What was the backlash?
We can talk about it later. I don't want to name names. Why is that so special? You and Cook both leaned into it really, really heavily.
Well, I guess I'm being serious. What is the? I didn't say that I was happy with the loss.
Yeah, I know. That's my point. Is you both want to win, but it's also important to both of you that it is that showcase, that fans come out, that eyeballs are on it, that in-state kids are a part of it. Why does that continue to be such an important part of this rivalry? That it continues to be not just about the teams that are involved in it, but also the people in the stands, the young girls who are watching, the ones who were a part of it before.
I feel as a sport, volleyball has no male counterpart, and I understand we have men's volleyball, but it is at a different, it doesn't have the support that women's volleyball does. So we feel like we're a lone wolf. Women's basketball a lot of times elevated by men's basketball. They get opportunities. We feel like we've established ourselves as the primary girls team sport in the country. The numbers back that up, all on our own, and get some frustration, the fact that we are not getting sometimes the television coverage that we think we've earned. And now I know the backlash of that is, well, you haven't earned it. The numbers aren't there. But we're making the argument, if you do some of the marketing, if you do some of the pregame stuff on television, give us a runway, we think we could really do some amazing things on television. So that is one aspect of why I think both Coach Cook and I lean into, hey, Nebraska gets it. I mean, Nebraska Public Television has been doing television for a long time, and people watch it in this state. So we want people around the country to see what we think Nebraska has done so well. The fact that we do a weekly press conference and the television stations are out here because people in this state get volleyball. So I think Cook and I understand that what we're doing here can be replicated around the country, and we take that very seriously, that it is not just about Nebraska. That's why we moved our match time to FS1, because we want the national stage to see that this sport is awesome and that people will watch if given the opportunity. Bam, let's go.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just curious about this week, because you're coming off the 3 5-setters in 4 days. Was it tough to prepare for this week, because you know that your girls are probably tired, but you also have Kansas State and Rice, who are 2 extremely good programs waiting for you on the other side of it? Did it change anything in terms of how you guys get ready for that?
Well, we gave them yesterday off. I think 2 days off. We definitely wanted them to rest, but we'll get after it today, and we'll prepare from a scout perspective the same way that we always prepare. Now we're in a rhythm. Now it's 2 matches a week, and here we go. And our players are smart enough to know the ramifications of both of these matches. Kansas State's top 50 right now. Rice is in the AVCA poll 26th in the country. Their RPI is very good. Rice took Texas down last year. This is a very, very good team. So we've got 2 big ones, and they'll be up for it. They know. I think they understand that these are 2 really tough teams that they're going to be playing.
Just an update on Jayla. How's she doing?
She's doing well. I think she sees the doctor again in a week or 2. So, just continuing to progress. And I just am amazed by, I've had so many people say that her leadership is remarkable during games, from scouting to energy to servant leadership, getting water and Gatorade for her teammates. She's been pretty remarkable through all this. From just the rehab's obviously a big part of it, but this is hard. Being on the sideline is hard. I remember we talked before the weekend that we host the Blue Jay Invite with Kentucky and USC and Northern Iowa, and she said, this is hard for me. This is my favorite weekend of the year, and not to be able to participate is hard. But once she gets on the bench, she's such a great teammate and leader.
Just curious about Jazz. It felt like through that first weekend she could be a big contributor for this team, and then I know she had the injury, and then, this past weekend I think she only played against Florida State, like one set or whatever. I guess what's going on with her.
Jazz is ready to go. I know she's pumped to get back into practice, and we really didn't practice last week. We'd had walk-through practices, so I think it's a testament to our depth. But Jazz is definitely someone that we can definitely look to.